Before becoming a mom, I thought the worst thing was going to be sleepless nights. I thought I could conquer parenting with the right baby gear. Looking back, I wasn't just wrong. I think I was missing the point a little bit and missing the things that would actually help me more in motherhood. So here are 7 things I wish I knew before becoming a mother. Number 1 would be that special or luxury baby gear does not make you a good parent. Just because you own the Snoo does not make you better than the $40 hand-me-down marketplace bassinet. Parenting is not about the gear. It's not about expensive, luxury, specialized, whatever the case is. What actually makes you a good parent is talking with your partner, deciding on parenting philosophies and like systems in your home. You want to be Montessori, you want to be this, you want to be that. Talking them through, getting the right gear for that, and just being educated on how to breastfeed or tips on potty training. It's up here. That's what we need. Okay. I wish I would have known that more going into parenting. I did a lot of research on breastfeeding, which I'm very thankful about because it did help me be successful. So that's one area I know I hit the mark, but others would have been talking more to my partner about like how we actually want to parent instead of talking about it on our way through. And yes, you do have to continue to talk on your way through, but maybe a little more upfront would have been helpful. I thought I needed the right gear, but in fact, I needed the right education. The second thing that I wish I knew was just how quickly the phases go by. And I know everybody says, it's just a phase, it goes by quickly. It is 100% true, okay? Sleepless nights, they come, they go. Teething, oh my gosh, a week of teething can be awful. But now with my older children, I don't even think about it, okay? Yes, it was rough in that moment, but it was such a little blimp on the life we've had together. So don't stress the phases. They do go by quickly. I would say also don't overstock for the phases. You might be in the swaddling phase. You don't need 50 swaddles. You might be in the bottle phase. You don't need 50 birth cloths. Wash things a lot. You'll get through that phase. Wear them out. That's okay. I'd rather have worn out items than have items that are pristine at the end of that phase. And then also when it comes to phases, I would say behavioral stuff when they're toddlers, terrible twos, this, that. Don't ignore it. But sometimes if you ignore it a little bit, it can be a phase and you'll move on through it. There can be cute things and frustrating things, and eventually it'll be the last time they do it, believe it or not. That also can be a sad one. You don't know the last time you're gonna like rock them and put them in bed before you like lay in bed with them. Maybe they got a big bed, or the last time they run up to you and you throw them in the air. Like you don't always know when your last is, and that's really emotional, obviously. So anywho, yeah, the phases all come to an end. Okay, on a lighter note, the third thing I would encourage you to do is learn to cook and clean before your first baby comes. If it's too late and you've already had a baby, it's okay. We can always learn. But I wish I would have done that, and I'm going to encourage that with my daughters when they're in their young 20s or what have you, whether they're married, dating, single, whatever they are. Learn how to cook good food. Learn how to like develop any hobbies or just cleaning. I lived at home. I got married, moved in with my husband. I never lived alone. And I feel like I could have used a little bit of time to figure some of that out on my own. It was different. Obviously I maybe did it the like old school traditional way, but I don't know. I don't know if it served me well. I think living alone I could have learned a lot. So learn cooking and cleaning, especially cooking, because I think you want to cook food that your toddler is going to like learn to enjoy that isn't just hot dogs and mac and cheese. So I wish I would have done better at learning more creative meals, more seasoned and like healthy cooking, to be honest, before my kids came and life got a lot harder to learn how to cook with a baby on your hip. The fourth thing I would encourage you to learn before having kids, or I wish I knew before having kids, was to have fewer items. This could be baby gear, it could be kid stuff, it could be just your own personal stuff. Fewer is better typically. It's less to manage, okay? An example, like my kids now, they're 4 and 6, shoes. I have gone through a phase where I had 5 pairs of shoes out for them. That was it. It was tennis shoes for school, play tennis shoes. It was rain boots, which are for playing. And then it was like fancy sandals, play sandals. And then the winter it switched to fancy boots and snow boots. Because I was going to say we already had the rain boots out. So about 5 pairs of shoes. Well, recently we got a bunch of hand-me-downs. We have too many shoes out. It's a hot mess. It is overwhelming. Fewer is actually better, in my opinion. An area that I definitely recommend this is clothing. Keep up on the laundry. I'll link my laundry video down in the description where I just talk about how I managed to keep up on laundry, and we never have a pile of laundry in this house, ever. The fifth thing that I wish I knew before becoming a mom is that what works for others may not work for you. Okay, this goes all the way back to planning your baby registry. I have my other channel where I talk about baby stuff. Just because somebody recommends an item does not mean it's the right item for you, and that's okay. Just because somebody parents one way does not mean it works for you, and that's okay as well. You need to run your house as you should, not as someone else would. And one thing I would say about this is that comparison can steal your confidence faster than anything. So don't compare. Focus on what you're doing in your home and how you can constantly improve it and make it better, but not by stealing somebody else's lifestyle. All right, you got to do what works for you. The sixth thing that I would recommend to you is to find yourself, your hobbies, and work on yourself before kids arrive. So for me, one thing I wish I would have worked on more is breaking my phone addiction. I don't like how much I'm on it. If my kids were on their phones as much as I am, I'd be annoyed with them. I'd be like, put your phone down, be present. I'm failing in that area a lot, and I feel that. And I know I need to work on it now and should continue to work on it, but I wish maybe I would have put some effort in before having kids. Another thing would be hobbies and interests. So I used to go to the gym better. I took dance lessons before I was married and had kids, and I couldn't afford to do that forever. It was really expensive. But I wish maybe I did better at upkeeping some hobbies or some interests, and maybe that's something you talk about before you have kids. Talk about it with your spouse of how can we, say you like pickleball. How can we keep playing pickleball even after we have a kid? Maybe you have a women's league on one night of the week and a men's league on another night, and you're able to swap off and you both still have interests and hobbies. Of course, this is after you've healed postpartum and all that, but figure out a way to keep parts of you and keep it going, okay? And communicate that with your partner. This isn't just even for mom. I mean mom and dad. Even if it's just simple things like painting your nails, making sure you're washing your face every night. These things are important. So I wish I knew that before having kids, and I wish I did a better job at upkeeping some of that. And again, it's never too late. Number 7 would be that decision fatigue is so real. Everybody says it, but especially if you're the primary parent or the most, with the kids parent. My husband does a ton, but I am still mom, if that makes sense. Just remembering things, and it could be adding somebody to the grocery list. It could be just knowing how they like their peanut butter and jelly cut. It's a lot in your head, and just deciding what to do with your day, what to clean, what to cook. My recommendation for this is actually to cut down as many decisions as you can. This would be having a meal plan every month. Write it out one time and you're done, and then just follow it. Or even if it's not a meal plan on a calendar, maybe it's 20 meals and you just cross them off as you use them and then start the list over again. And that way that it's okay, it's a busy night. We need it to be tacos. Oh, we have a lot of time. It's going to be a roast. Sometimes you got to switch things up. Same could be said on creating a cleaning schedule and following it. Then you don't have to decide what you're doing. So this would be systems, routines, schedules. Okay. Take as many decisions off your plate as you possibly can. One of the biggest lessons I think a lot of people need to learn in motherhood is it's not about having more. Okay. It's really not about the stuff. For me, it's the learning, it's the education, it's the systems and organization. It's not having more things to organize, if that makes sense. Less is more. I think it's important to focus on what matters most and let some of it go. Let some of the other stuff go. If this is the kind of mom you want to be, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. All right, this is the kind of content I post, talking a little bit about motherhood, a little bit about running a home, organizing it, cooking from scratch, trying to just be the best mom you can possibly be.